In the Shadows of Legends, the tale of Merlin. O listeners, now I will take you to the ancient lands of Albion. This is the land where kings are born, where sorcerers whisper secrets, and where dragons tremble the sky. In these lands lived a man whose name echoes even in the shadows of history, Merlin. He was not an ordinary wizard nor just an advisor. He was the greatest of legends, shaped by destiny's hands and molded within prophecies. Now listen to this tale and embark on a journey through time. As Britain burned to ashes under the invasion of the Saxons, the distressed people awaited a savior. Yet salvation would not come from a king but from a supernatural child. His name was Merlin. Merlin's mother was a sacred priestess, and his father was a secret hidden beyond the shadows. To some, he was a demon. To others, a god. Regardless of the truth, the power emanating from this child was felt from the moment he was born. The cowardly King Vortigern trembled with the fear of losing his throne and sought a solution from the wisest men to hold up his crumbling castle. The oldest sage in the court stroked his long beard and said, "For the foundations to stabilize, the blood of a boy born without a father must be spilled." Thus, Vortigern's soldiers found and brought Merlin. However, the tiny child showed no fear and took no step back. A resolute expression adorned his face. Wisdom of ages glimmered in his eyes. He took a deep breath and boldly challenged those before him. "You are seeking to sacrifice the wrong person. For in the earth beneath your castle, two ancient dragons are fighting to break the chains of fate. The red dragon against the white. Until this clash ends, the land will remain cursed, and the castle will never find peace." Vortigern, in fear, ordered excavations. Indeed, beneath the ground a battle had been raging for ages. The red dragon symbolized the spirit of Britain, while the white dragon represented the power of the invaders. The two dragons clashed, spewing flames into the sky. Terrified by the truth of the prophecy, Vortigern realized he could no longer escape. He lost his throne, and the fate of Britain fell into the hands of Uther Pendragon, born in the shadow of dragons. Merlin was one who knew the secrets of not only humans but also dragons. He often conversed with the last great dragon, Kilgara. He understood the language of dragons, the rhythm of flames, and the meaning behind the wings that split the sky. He not only spoke with them but also drew benefit from their ancient wisdom that had lasted for centuries. One night, under the pale light of the moon, Merlin met Kilgara amidst the ruins of an ancient stone temple. The dragon's voice resonated with a deep echo that blended with the whispers of the wind. "Merlin, you are the sage from beyond time. But being wise does not mean fate can be changed. People always fall victim to their own mistakes." Merlin blinked, looking at the dragon beneath his bushy eyebrows. "If fate is written, is it worth fighting to change it? Can I truly protect Arthur, or am I merely delaying the inevitable?" The dragon narrowed its eyes and rumbled, "You can protect him, but even if you do, can you bear the weight of fate?" Merlin sighed deeply. He was a man carrying the burden of wisdom, yet he felt helpless before certain truths. Dragons did not lie, and Kilgara's words turned into an unavoidable fate echoing within him. This prophecy carved a deep wound in his soul, for he now knew he could not change Arthur's destiny. The storms that raged in Merlin's heart were hidden within the magical yet tragic relationship he had with Nimue. Nimue captivated Merlin not only with her beauty but also with her wisdom and mystery. When he heard her voice, it felt as if he was listening to the whispers of the stars. He had fallen in love with Nimue, but this love would transform into a whirlpool that would even overshadow his wise mind. At first, Nimue admired him too. Merlin's magical words, his ancient wisdom, and the indescribable light within him deeply affected the Lady of the Lake. Merlin revealed the secrets of magic to her, taught her to speak with the elements, and read the stars. However, a different desire began to grow within Nimue, to seize power. One day, on the summit of a mountain before a stone altar stretching to the sky, Nimue approached Merlin with sweet words. Will you teach me the final secret of magic, my love? What is the way to hold the threads of fate in your hands? Merlin looked at her with endless trust. Love had blinded his heart. This secret is entrusted only to the greatest wizard, but you walk the same path as I do. Come, let me show you. And so Merlin revealed his greatest secret to Nimue. However, this would mark the beginning of his downfall. Nimue used the magic she learned to deceive Merlin and trapped him in an eternal slumber. At the shore of the lake, in a magical cave, Merlin's voice was no longer heard. He had been betrayed by his own student and lover. In the aftermath of this betrayal, Merlin's life was plunged into disasters. He could no longer foresee prophecies, nor could he glimpse the future. His absence caused unrest in the lands of Britain. The protector of Arthur was lost. Camelot was under the shadow of threats. The mightiest sorcerer had become trapped within a cave, lost in the endless cycle of time. After that great love, Merlin's heart never beat the same way again. Some say that his love was sealed in time and never directed towards another. Others say he was lost in loneliness for centuries and never loved again. However, one thing is certain. The love he felt for Nimue had taught him his greatest lesson. Trust is the mightiest of all magics, but betrayal is the most terrible curse. They say if one day Merlin awakens, he will still carry traces of that old love in his eyes and return to the world with a wisdom born from the ashes of a love that echoed within his heart. Merlin was the wisest person in the world, capable of understanding the whispers of the stars and the songs of the wind. Yet the greatest curse of fate also touched him: love. His powerful magic succumbed to the weakness of his heart, and even his deepest wisdom could not shield him from this destiny. The relationship between Merlin and Arthur was not merely a bond between a wizard and a king. They were two fates tightly bound together. On the day Arthur was born, Merlin knew that he would change the future of Britain. However, the young prince's fate had to be carefully woven into a sensitive prophecy. To raise Arthur as a king, Merlin kept him away from the court. The child grew up with a humble knight's family. He lived as an ordinary child, learned the arts of war, and was raised among the people. Merlin taught him not only how to wield a sword, but also how to be just, patient, and serve his people. Years passed, and Merlin guided Arthur, ensuring he became not just a warrior but a leader. Each time Arthur fell, Merlin lifted him up, instilled courage in him, and reminded him to stand by justice even in difficult times. Merlin taught Arthur not only the battles of the body, but also of the mind and heart. He emphasized that a king should not only live on the throne but also in the hearts of his people. Yet Arthur still faced a great trial: Excalibur. This sword symbolized his rightful kingship, and only the one worthy could pull it from the stone. Merlin waited for this moment, for Arthur's destiny would be determined by whether he could bear the weight of this sword. Merlin was a messenger not only for humans, but also for dragons. He could speak the language of dragons. The last dragon, Kilgara, presented him with a prophecy. Arthur's end will come from his own blood. If you cannot protect him, Britain will be buried in darkness. No matter what Merlin did, he could not change this prophecy. He knew Arthur's end was approaching, yet hoped he could prevent it. With his wisdom, he searched for ways by reading the stars and interpreting prophecies. But the writing of fate remained immutable like ink. Arthur was mortally wounded by his own nephew Mordred. The weight of fate collapsed upon Merlin as he witnessed it. In the Battle of Camelot, Arthur killed Mordred but came face to face with death himself. When Merlin reached the bloodied Arthur on the battlefield, it was already too late. He summoned all his magic and wisdom to save him, but this time not even magic was enough. As Merlin carried Arthur to Avalon, he felt a burden in his heart. He had sacrificed his king, his dearest student, perhaps the greatest pawn of fate. With Arthur's death, Merlin's spirit began to fade. The stars no longer whispered prophecies to him, nor did the winds guide him. Some say the great wizard rose to the heavens mourning Arthur. Others claim his spirit turned into a shadow wandering the mists of Britain, still whispering Arthur's name like a ghost. However, one thing is certain: he is a sage who has escaped the chains of time, lost in the void between past and future. They say if Britain ever falls into great danger again, Merlin will return. And perhaps one day when we need him, he will come back. If this epic tale has enchanted you, stay tuned to not miss the continuations of the legends. Don't forget to like and comment for more epic storytelling.